Alright, this will be part one of learning to ride a motorcycle. I went to motorcycle class. It was a 2-day, 16-hour deal. It was a Friday and Saturday, 8 hours each day. There's about 5 hours classroom and 10 hours out on the bikes. Now, the first thing they taught us is, is to get on the bike, and you're gonna put both feet on the ground, get a good footing. You don't want to be putting your feet on loose gravel, oil, stuff like that. And you get on, put the kickstand up, and they wanted us to move the bike side to side just to get used to the feel. Now when you do this, they've got much smaller and lighter bikes, so it's easier to handle. But if you've got a bigger bike that you're trying this on, have your feet in good position. Slightly and slowly move the bike left and right, nice and gently, just to get used to that feel and having that bike lean. I'll put this camera on here. Just going to let the bike lean slowly left and right just to get comfortable. Don't go too far, whatever you're comfortable with. Keep the bike upright off the ground. Now the next thing I remember, this is going back last year, is we were getting used to the friction zone of the clutch. That's when you're letting the clutch out, it gets to a point where the clutch engages and starts to turn the back wheel. And so I'm going to start the bike up and show you this. Make sure the bike's in neutral. Usually what I do is I still hold the clutch in even if I know it's in neutral. Usually hold the front brake, and I let go of the front brake and the brake, let go of the clutch and brake. Now for this, all you're gonna do is you're gonna pull the clutch in and hold the clutch, and then you're gonna press down on the foot peg into first, and you're just going to slowly release the clutch enough where it moves the bike but doesn't stall it out. And that's just to get used to the friction zone of when the clutch starts to engage. And you're just going to let the bike roll slowly forward. You want to keep both your feet on the ground in the same area and just let the bike go forward enough. And then you're going to pull the clutch in, bring the bike back, and you're just going to repeat that a couple times, get used to the friction zone. And you can cover the brake if you want. You're not going to use the throttle at all. And let me put this on here and I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if you can see the clutch or not. Pull the clutch in, hold the brake. Now it's in first. I'm going to let go of the front brake, and my clutch, I've got it pulled all the way in. I'm just going to slowly let the clutch out. Just going to slowly let the clutch out, let the bike move forward a little bit, pull the clutch in, bring my feet back, and then repeat the process. You just want to let the clutch out nice and slow, get used to that friction zone, and you're just going to rock the bike back and forth just to get used to that friction zone. Now, I'm not using the brake or have my hand on it, but for beginning riders. I mean, you could cover the brake if you want, just to give you added security. Now if the bike's getting away from you, just pull the clutch in and slowly pull the brake in. You never want to grab the brake, you just want to gently squeeze it. Alright, now the bike's back in neutral. Now the next part is we're gonna get used to the friction zone, but this time we're gonna let it all the way out while giving it a little gas, and we're gonna be in first. We're just gonna go straight, and when we did it, we had cones we went to. It was probably about to where that telephone pole is, and we keep it in first. Just keep it nice and slow, getting used to using the friction zone, putting it in first gear and giving it a little throttle. And once I get down there, I'm gonna turn around, come back the other way, and just repeat that a couple times. Get used to you know, using the clutch, friction zone, and a little throttle. Alright, so you're in neutral. You're gonna hold the front brake, put it in first. Now it's in first gear. You're gonna slowly let off the clutch while giving it some throttle. And you're just gonna go straight. Now when you get down to a certain area, or if you have cones, you're just gonna pull the clutch in, flick the shifter up halfway into neutral, let the clutch out, and slowly apply the brakes. Now I'm on an incline, so I'm gonna use some gas to turn around. You want to be on a flat surface. What we did was we were in a large flat parking lot, and we were able to just push the bikes back the other way. But let me get turned around here. Alright, so once you get turned back around, whatever area you choose, I mean, if you have a cone, that'd be great. You're going to turn the bike back around and head back towards where you started. You're going to do the same thing. You're just going to put it in first gear, slowly let the clutch out while giving it some throttle, and keep it in a straight line. And when you get down to the cone, you're going to turn the bike around, do that a couple times, get used to first gear. Alright, now it's in first. It's going to slowly let the clutch out while giving it some throttle. Now I'm stopped, clutch is in, now it's in neutral. Then you're going to turn the bike around, do that till you're comfortable with that process. And then the next step would be to go through first and second gear. That way you can get used to shifting, and you're going to do the same thing as before, except this time, once you're already in first and you have the clutch out, You're gonna give yourself a little speed, pick the RPMs up just a little bit, then you're gonna let off the throttle, pull the clutch in, and you're going to flick up on the shifter past neutral into second. And once you're into second, you're going to slowly let the clutch out while giving it throttle, and then let the clutch all the way out, and now you're in second. Once you get into second, do that a couple times, going back and forth. You end up going into third gear, depending on where you set your cones, the distance, what speed you're going. After a while, when we got out of second, I believe we went the other way on the course, and so we had a longer run, and we ended up going through all the gears, and before we started doing other maneuvers. Again, I'm trying to remember this from last summer, but that'll get you started on, you know, getting used to the feel of the bike, leaning it, the friction zone, shifting into first gear, getting used to that, and then you'll be getting into shifting the other gears, and get you familiar with shifting through the gears. And when we did that, I think we shifted through the gears, and when we were coming to the cone to stop, we pulled the clutch all the way in, shifted down into first while pulling both the front brake and rear brake at the same time. Get to the cone, stop, put it in neutral when your foot's still on the brake, and then we'd go back around and repeat the process. But that's the first part, and I'll, when I think about it, do the next part for you, and show you some more stuff that I learned, trying to remember. But